Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Wearing an SDPN shirt.
I am.
Jesse's wearing a Crab People shirt.
I am.
And I keep forgetting to order stuff from the SDPN shop.
You know what I almost did the other day? I almost ordered you a bunch of stuff and just sent it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because get some, you
Adam
weirdo.
doesn't care about our company.
I do.
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't own a
Very
single
much.
piece
Oh,
of
he's not
merch.
the only one.
That's
I
just
got my
What?
suspicions.
Ah, damn it.
know?
I'm going in solo. If anybody is looking to fulfill two CEO roles, I'll be looking.
Oh,
I am.
Listen to this.
I'm kicking out my partners here, and I got 2 roles to fill.
Wow. You know, Jesse, my ISO cam is covered.
That's not your ISO cam.
That's not my ISO cam? Oh, that's my ISO cam.
That's always been.
This has always been your ISO.
I
What
knew
about that
that.
cam?
That camera is the webcam. That's the
That's
camera.
the webcam?
That's the webcam
For
that
when we have
people-
guests.
When we have guests, they look
Oh.
through that camera and they can see us. And it's the wide. That's the wide angle lens, so it gets the whole room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought Jesse was hurting my feelings for no reason.
No, go.
Thought I was gonna get my
Adam, go look at your camera.
balls. I thought I wasn't gonna get my ISO shot today. I want my ISO shot. Damn it! Somebody messaged me today and they're like, "Your chin is looking chiseled," and I said, "Thank you."
Oh.
It always
I better
has,
get my
though.
ISO shot back.
Oh, welcome to 33 years of Adam.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
chiseled jaw.
Almost 34. Not quite.
Not quite.
Fucking American dad over here.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
that's a good one.
USA. Yeah. I got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day.
One of the most underrated characters on television is Roger the Alien.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's so funny in
Very
that show.
funny.
lonely.
And sometimes so fucking gross. I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
Sometimes that show gets so gross, and I'm like, what? Did they stop running new episodes? Is it over now?
It's
I don't know.
on they moved over to like TBS or something, but they still have new episodes.
They do,
coming out.
okay.
Yeah, you can watch it on Disney Plus. I'm doing a whole plug for American.
There you
Dad.
go on Disney Plus, who does not advertise with us.
No.
That's okay. Yeah, but my bubblies are a problem.
No, put that down.
Sorry.
Adam.
Put
No.
that
Oh,
down.
so now you know that's your cam. You know how you know that's your true cam?
Huh?
No cap.
Because I can't wear a hat?
No cap.
Oh, no
camera.
cap.
And also that means no lies.
Yes, I know.
I'm on
That
TikTok.
wasn't very
I know.
good.
I know it was very
Yeah,
good.
oh.
It was actually quite good and underrated.
So, I wanted to start the show today with some astounding news.
It's
Okay,
astounding.
astounding. Because obviously the Russian-Ukrainian situation continues and the fallout continues. So, there's certain leagues that are doing the right thing, and that is, for now, like the NHL, I have to give them full credit, stopping all their relationships with, Russian money. And saying we wouldn't even consider Russia as a place that we would go and play hockey. Although I didn't know it was ever under consideration, but I guess they had to say that publicly.
I think for like regular season games.
Right.
I want to say Moscow has been in consideration.
Okay, so now they're not going to do that.
Good.
And then there's like the FIA, which is the Formula One governing body, and they said basically you can Belarusian and Russian drivers can drive, but they can't use a Russian flag or Russian colors on the car. And that directly relates to the Haas team, which is sponsored by Nikita Mazepin's father, or used to be. And people are kind of laughing because it's like, well, we just used Dmitry Mazepin's money to make a great car, and now we're going to let him go. And Nikita Mazepin, according to the British Motorsport Society, I guess, is not going to be able, all Russian driver license for motorsport in the UK have been suspended. So he can't even, if he wanted to drive at Silverstone, he can't. And then you've got another one out of England, and this is the astounding thing. So I told you Chelsea is owned by a Russian oligarch, right? Chelsea Football Club?
Yeah.
Okay. They're putting it up for sale now. So Roman Abramovich is the guy's name.
I saw that.
Did you see how much?
For sale? Chelsea.
Like probably one of the top 3-4 brands in English football, maybe one of the top 10 brands in the world for football.
Right. So I feel like the most expensive sports teams in the world are like 3 billion.
And
so
3 billion is the number.
that's the number.
3
Wow.
billion pounds.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like 5 billion.
Yeah, 3 billion pounds.
Canadian.
In Canadian dollars is $5.76 million. $5.076 million. Billion dollars. Excuse me. Billion with a B.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And what's interesting about that is countries like the United States and Canada, and I believe the UK, have frozen the assets of all of the oligarchs and Vladimir Putin. So my question is, if he sells the team, this guy sells the team and finds a buyer, which I'm sure he will, when that asset is sold, is that liquid cash or is that or is that frozen too? Because I would imagine that falls under this is frozen and you don't get to touch this.
I don't know.
Pretty wild stuff.
Dude, it's so much of this is beyond me. And
all of it's beyond all of us. Okay, like I don't.
Yeah,
come on. Like, listen, if you're expecting me to come in here and be like, well, I've got the scoop. I'm a journalist. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I'm reading.
Well, like I'm seeing Twitter posts like a bunch of Ukrainian citizens captured a soldier. I'm like, that's wild. Continue. And they're like, here he is, having tea and eating bread because they're feeding him. I'm like, wild. Continue. And here he is FaceTiming his mom. And,
how nuts is that?
And I'm just, what is this?
Yeah.
What, like,
this is the first, I think, I think it's the first time where you're I don't know how to describe it, but there is like from what I've heard, there have been entire divisions that have surrendered without a fight because they don't want to do this. And I think that that's quite powerful. And as you saw, he's FaceTiming his mom, right?
Yeah.
He's probably a couple 100 kilometers away.
Not far.
Not far. Crazy.
I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. And I remember, again, we talked about, early teens being transformative years.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching just the start of the Iraq War on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And just sitting there and being like, the war is televised?
Yeah. It's weird, right?
What? Like, you can just...
Now, this war's on Zoom. It's crazy. And yeah.
What do you even make of that?
That's what they said about Desert Storm, too, in 1990. Is like the first completely televised war. Yeah. So
I'm sorry. I wish I had more to say about that.
What's
I
interesting?
Still don't know how to wrap my head around it.
What's interesting about this is Rick Westhead tweeted this out about an hour and a half ago. He said, "I have connected with about Russia's war with Ukraine with a number of NHL player agents who have Russian clients. The advice they're giving all the players is to be careful. Russian parliament is considering a new law that could mean up to 15 years in prison for, quote, spreading fake news about the war." So, I got to say about what's really been interesting is the CCM decision to remove all Russian athletes from all their advertising. Now, I understand people restricting athletes from playing in international tournaments. I get that. Part of this is, people are going to look at this and go, well, like, it seems a little unfair to someone like Artemi Panarin, who has actively spoken out against the Russian government.
Right. Is he among the players?
Well, they said all Russian players.
Right.
And so we get to the point now where I'm like, okay. And I think I understand what CCM is trying to do here. But the idea that you're just going to blanketly remove all Russian players to me seems wrong. I can understand Alexander Ovechkin. He had the Team Putin thing. And here's what I think with Alexander Ovechkin, by the way. A lot of people are really hard on him, and I get it. Putin isn't his profile picture. We saw Dominic Hasek light him up on Twitter the other day and all that stuff and his, his weak-ass response to everything. But, let me just pose something to you.
Mm-hmm. And just to clarify, none of the money that that CCM owes any of these players, they're going to still pay.
Still paying it, but they're not using them in ads.
Yes, they're still going to earn their money. They're still going to get their paycheck.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's a really important thing to say. As it pertains to Ovechkin, okay, I'm Vladimir Putin in this scenario. With all my Botox and my being terrified of COVID. You've seen him at the end of that long table. He's terrified of COVID, eh?
Yeah.
I thought he was just like a Bond villain.
Well, and the reason that he looks the way he looks is because he's obsessed with not dying. So he's getting Botox shots. He's trying to look strong. It's a whole thing. There's crazy articles about it. And so I say to my cultural ministers or whatever, and I say, well, how do we maintain our presence in a strong man government, right? Where we're not elected. We don't, this is not the will of the people. This is just, we've decided we're here and we're here now. Well, you reach out to superstars. Alexander Ovechkin's a superstar. Now, I run a regime that kills people who disagree with me. You know, they poisoned a guy like 10 years ago with like radiation sickness. You remember that?
An alarming amount of doctors fall out of windows in Russia.
Right.
They have really flimsy windows.
Yeah, exactly.
That or their government are a bunch of murderers.
Right. So then I'm a representative of Putin, and I go to Alexander Ovechkin and say, how do you feel about being a part of our social media campaign for the upcoming election? And remembering that you're Alexander Ovechkin in this scenario, yeah, you got $100 million. You know, you big fat contract, but you got family in Russia.
And you also probably get a lot more.
Probably, yeah. But you have family in Russia.
Yep. And a lot of commitments.
So you got a choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's your home too, by the way. You love it there. That's your home. That's where your friends are. That's where you grew up. So then you go, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? Even if I don't want to support this guy, I'm afraid of what he's going to do to my family who are still all back there. Now, does he, along with other players like I think Pavel Bure was a part of that, and there's a bunch of other players that signed up for this. Kovalchuk was a part of it. Does he need to say yes to this? I mean, you could argue that he doesn't, but Alexander Ovechkin is the most famous Russian hockey player on the planet right now. So it's a big deal if he turns the Putin regime down. It's different for him than it is even for Kovalchuk. Mm-hmm. It's different for him even than it is for Pavel Bure. Both great players in their prime, both way past their prime. And right now, he's the most famous guy in the world. Now, I saw a bunch of people on Twitter saying like, well, he's got the money to get his family out of there. Have you considered that maybe they don't want to leave? Have you considered that that's their home? That's their language. That's their culture. Of course they don't want to leave. I understand
considered that if it was that easy, they might have done it.
Right. And it is, yeah. Is it easy enough? Was it easy enough to get people out of Russia at that point? Did he have the money to do it? Absolutely he did. But you have to consider that maybe they didn't want to fucking go. So then at that point, and I'm not trying to be an Ovechkin apologist here, but I do want to bring up this point of view, which is it's a poison pill. It's take this or something bad potentially could happen to your family. Do you want to live with that stress? Now, I'm sure if that were the case, and again, this is a wholly hypothetical situation, I'm sure Alexander Ovechkin doesn't love that he was associated, doesn't love that his profile picture is Vladimir Putin.
Still, that's what I was checking him out.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If he changes it now, yes, that shows strength. But would this not be the worst time of all, if this scenario is true, for him to change that profile picture?
I think that it would be strong. The tide is turning. Nikita Zadorov liked Artemi Panarin's post last year, deleted his like, and has since released his own statement now.
Passionate.
About a week later. Now, maybe he's set up in a different way.
Maybe he's Nikita Zadorov and not Alexander Ovechkin.
Right. He's not as big a deal. He doesn't perhaps have as much to lose. I don't know. Maybe he's emboldened by all the other Russian players to do it, or Russian athletes, I should say. But Alexander Ovechkin probably has the most to lose here. I mean, people looked at his statement the other day as weak when he was just like, no more war, which, yeah, that's like the bare minimum thing you could say. I saw anything that isn't outright praise of Putin and the things Putin is doing, I think
is a strong statement.
It's as strong a statement as you're going to get from Alexander Ovechkin, I think. You need to stop looking at him as you look at politically active players in Canada and America. He's an asset of the Russian government, whether he wants to be or not.
Which is how the USSR, which Putin wants desperately Russia to return to, that's how they treated McGillney until he left. Bure and all the other Fetisov, all those guys that came over and had to pay the Russian government 50% of their salary or whatever it was during the last years of the Iron Curtain. The Russian government always treated its players like an asset.
And his mom was an Olympian under the Soviet Union. Like, I'm sure this is nothing new to the family even. I don't think It's
I don't
just
think you
cut
can
and dry.
relate. Yeah.
No,
Right.
we can't. That's a great way of putting it, Adam. We can't relate. I've had you all know I used to work for the KHL. I've had conversations that I found frustrating and fascinating because it's you're explaining the world from scratch and also having it explained to you from scratch in a
Just
way
different
that
cultures.
you've never thought of. Yes, it's you cannot believe the differences. You can't believe the differences, and I encourage everyone to step outside of their bubble, and I encourage everyone to not invade fucking Ukraine. I think is a stronger way to put it than no more war, but I don't have as much at stake.
Right.
I think we have to look at it through a lens of like great activists like Muhammad Ali, and just the amount of strength that it would take to stand up to power, or even like,
And he was in a free country with
Right.
free speech, quote
right,
unquote.
and the difficulty that we're putting on Ovechkin's shoulders if he were to say something against Putin. And like, what was it, 2 years ago now, when GM of the Houston Rockets, Daryl Morey, said some words about the Chinese government. And the NBA had to go and fix that entire situation because, if we're being honest about it, they were scared of the government. That's
Well, and they were
why
going to lose millions.
they were going to lose a whole bunch of money. They were afraid of what the Chinese government would do to the NBA's financials. And they did lose a bunch of money in the end because they took away some games and all that. But we're seeing that standing up to a dictatorship isn't as easy as it sounds. Like if Ovechkin came out and was like, I don't believe in Putin anymore, my family's out of the country, I don't support the war, and he goes completely against the president, that puts him in this other stratosphere of activists on a level who's stepping up in a wartime against his own government. And it's hard for me to say, oh, this guy should do it, because if he's not capable of that, I can't tell him to go out there and do that. That's something on another human level that we're asking this person to do. And if he doesn't have that capacity to be that flag bearer of an anti-Putin stance with celebrities, then I can't be like, oh man, he's a shit dude for not doing that. No, because that's another realm of what we're asking him to do.
Yeah, I think the story's still being written here.
Yeah.
But I do think it's fair to acknowledge that it's impossible to talk about Alexander Ovechkin without this being brought up.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you should ask him the question.
Yes, you should ask
Every
the
single
questions.
time he's in front of a
Here's,
mic.
here's the deal. This is what was telling for me. If this guy was really an unapologetic Putin supporter like people are making him out to be, and I get it, believe me, I was the one last week who was saying he came out with Putin team on his social media. I think you got to talk to him about it. But if he was an unapologetic Putin supporter, don't you think he would have got up in front of the cameras and said, yeah, and we're right to do it too.
Yeah.
This is good. I'm excited for this.
Now,
Like, don't you? Isn't that, and he would have trumpeted all the stuff that you see on RT and the other propaganda arms, and what the guy at the UN, the Russian foreign minister, said at the UN yesterday, which is the Ukrainians are fascists and they are, they're neo-Nazis and they're threatening Russia and blah, 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 blah. All the bullshit that they've been spewing. Don't you think Ovechkin would be out there doing the same thing? That's why I think that this guy was poison pill. He was given a choice. Neither was good. He took one that maybe you wouldn't have taken, but he took it anyway. And I have to tell you, if he was an unapologetic Putin supporter, I think he would have got up there and been unapologetic.
and the reason we remember the activists that you spoke of, Jesse, is because what they did was impossible.
Yeah.
Yes.
What they did was so hard to
Yeah.
do. So, simply do one of the bravest things ever.
Think of how much we revere Colin Kaepernick, and his life wasn't on the line, but his career and his job was. And in a situation with Ovechkin, we think his life, or at least the lives of people around him, might be on the line if he did this.
His family could disappear.
The stakes are so high here. It's not as simple as just go out and do this. There's a lot to consider here, and there's so much nuance, and I just hope people take that into consideration when you speak about the situation and when they ask him about the question, because everybody will keep asking, because that's a fair thing to ask.
I also don't envy the companies that have to make these calls. Like, I don't imagine it was an easy call for CCM to say, we got to take all the Russian players off. I don't know how they ultimately came to that decision, or why they ultimately came to this decision, or why the FIA in motor racing couldn't just step up and say, we've got one Russian driver and his dad's one of Putin's buddies. Get him out of here. Mm-hmm. Why they couldn't just do that. Why it's taking the British Motor Racing Association or whatever for them to do that, to make sure Nikita Mazepin's not racing in their country. I don't know why it takes this or how these people come to this conclusion. But even for a company like CCM, that really, is CCM going to be affected by this corporately, financially? Probably not. Even for them, it was a difficult decision. You imagine what it's like for the Russian players. And you saw what happened to Artemi Panarin a year and a half ago when he said something pretty small. And then all of a sudden, he got attacked and had to go back home and leave the Rangers during the season. It's like crazy that everybody forgets that happened. Imagine Alexander Ovechkin, who is 100 times more famous in Russia. So
Barack Obama mentioned him.
Ovechkin?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they went to the White House.
Yeah, well, they went to the White House, but it was
I guess that would have been.
I think he was
Trump.
making Trump. He was making some sort of speech while he was president, and I think it was like I think it was like during talks with Putin or something. I can't remember, but he was talking about Alexander Ovechkin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we're enriched by Russian culture in Washington because I get to watch Alexander Ovechkin. I remember it.
Oh wow!
I can't remember what year it's from, but he did.
I had watch it. They play. I forgot they play where the White House is.
Yeah. I forget that all the time.
So Barack Obama is also referencing a local superstar,
right?
Literally a local superstar. And we talk about like who's the face of hockey. I think worldwide it's Alexander Ovechkin.
100%. But I think to be honest, it's probably still Wayne Gretzky to the rest of the world,
which is pathetic.
Yeah,
because he hasn't played in
separate issue, but yes.
Very many years.
We've had this conversation.
Yeah, yes, but no, like what? When was the last time a hockey player was mentioned by the president of the United States? Not when the Stanley Cup is there.
Yes, never.
It's Ovechkin. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the most famous hockey player in the world. Mm-hmm. There's a lot there.
Yeah. Anyway. It's a tough situation. I don't know. Man, maybe he is some unapologetic Putin supporter. Maybe. And if he is, then disregard what I said because it was hypothetical anyway. I'm just saying you have to consider both sides here. You have to.
Yeah, I'm not absolving him. It's just, I think it's okay to say you don't know here.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Fair enough.
I think it's okay for him to take a little time.
Well,
and not have an answer.
And all of us, like to me, I don't know if you need to have an impassioned opinion on this. I think you can have an impassioned opinion about don't invade countries who didn't do anything to you. I think that's an okay opinion to have. You can be passionate about that. But when it comes to this particular hockey player, I just don't think it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, it's almost time for spring, which means spring cleaning. You know what I'm talking about, right? 4 million men worldwide trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, and get in on our exclusive offer. They sponsor the show, and they're going to sponsor cleanliness below the belt for you. With an exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com. Use that code DANGLE for 20% off and free shipping. The package, which we know already has the trimmer and the skin-safe technology and the 4000K LED light. This package also includes the Weed Whacker. It's a nose and ear trimmer to whack all the worst of your weeds. And I'm not going to lie to you. I had a moment the other day with my girlfriend, and she said to me, you probably need to cut your ear hair, trim your ear hair. I'm 33 years old. It's already happening. But thanks to Manscaped, I'm not worried about that. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts: the travel bag and the anti-chafing boxer briefs to keep the boys stored comfortably. So use that promo code DANGLE. You got to get in on this. Manscaped.com. Use the code DANGLE, 20% off and free shipping. You cannot miss out on this. Let's talk about Athletic Greens. If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, and a stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you got to check out Athletic Greens. I'm sure you'll agree that most of us are not huge fans of having to take a bunch of pills, vitamins, etc. in the morning. But with Athletic Greens, you can get rid of all the vitamin pill bottles and finally make some room in your cabinet and do better things for your gut. It's really important. Athletic Greens is an all-in-one solution that actually tastes good, and you'll enjoy getting your daily vitamins. And remember, it's keto, paleo, dairy-free, vegan, and gluten-free. So whatever you eat, however you eat, Athletic Greens can work for you. It contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything. It still tastes good. It's really important. Let me just drive that point home. It tastes really good. You should have Athletic Greens. Use the promo code SDP. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-boosting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs for your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/SDP. Again, athleticgreens.com/SDP. Take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and Washington Capitals on Monday night. And there's a specific play that everybody's talking about.
He was horrendous in that game.
He was
terrible.
There was a specific play where Tom Wilson bullies John Tavares to the ice with 6 minutes left in regulation. And the next closest guy is Nylander. And it's not like Nylander's going to be like, all right, Tom, you and me, let's go. I thought Sheldon Keefe's comments on this were interesting. And Luke Fox put it together perfectly in an article. And he said it's sort of symbolic about how the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to handle somebody like a Tom Wilson or Brad Marchand, I would think.
Oh.
That's the unstated. Keefe said, it can go both ways for me. I think there is a symbolic part of it where you're staying together and all that, but you can say whatever you want to Tom Wilson. It's not going to change a single thing about how he plays or what he does. So I don't know if it's really worth engaging in. There's a certain number of guys that it doesn't matter. Just like in a different way, it does not matter what you say or do to Michael Bunting. You're not going to change the way he plays. So you can pretend it's going to make a difference, but it's not going to make a difference. If I had my choice, I'd rather just keep playing. Play harder, be more competitive when the puck drops, and that's what Tavares did. So
it is like the outcome is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, the New York Rangers blew out half their team because of what Tom Wilson did to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think but now look at them.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good.
They're like, did the Rangers let Tom Wilson ruin them? Or did they learn?
I think they got one of the best goalies in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
For that.
He has Igor Shesterkin, by the way, has the second highest save percentage of all time right now.
That's so dumb.
With a minimum of, I think it's 15 starts in a season. He has the second highest save percentage of all time.
That's so...
okay, you're going to win games. I don't care what the rest of the team looks like.
So stupid.
And with the Wilson situation, the context of the game was that it was tied 3-3 with 6 minutes to go in the third period. Mm-hmm. If you can't take a dumb penalty against Wilson there. And then with 25 seconds left, when it was 5-3 Leafs, Wayne Simmons did get out there and line up next to Tom Wilson in the faceoff dot and try to engage with him. And Tom Wilson kind of skirted away.
He wouldn't go.
So this narrative that the Leafs wouldn't retaliate is like, no, they got the Wayne train. And every time something intense happens, he gets out there on the ice and he tries to bully somebody. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't like that narrative that the Leafs get pushed around. It was one instance where Tom Wilson pushed down Tavares and it was a 3-3 game. So nobody did anything crazy. And then when they won the game, when they were going to win, that's when they tried to engage with him. And then he ran away.
Now,
the Leafs did the right thing here.
Yeah, I agree. I think like as part of the larger conversation where I say the Leafs need to be a little bit more tough, they need to be a little bit more tough because what Tom Wilson did is not a penalty.
That's true.
And that's so genuinely stupid. Like, I encourage everyone to watch sports that aren't hockey because the more you do that, the more you'll watch hockey and laugh. Mm-hmm. The more you'll watch hockey and be like, oh, so you're just sort of allowed to assault people. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fine.
Well, yeah, it's legal assault.
It's fine.
You can't do that in a bar.
What did John Tavares do there? You're just allowed to do that. Like, again, like this is why I was so passionate about Brad Marchand not getting suspended for the Jari thing. If you put together a video package, how many uncalled after the whistle punches to the face do you think we would find? Dozens and dozens and dozens. You're just allowed. Mm-hmm. You're just allowed.
And it's so unique to hockey because in any other sport, you're ejected from the game.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You punch somebody.
Yes.
Even if you push somebody to the ground.
They'll kick you out of the game in the NBA if you're rude.
Yeah.
Like,
if you say the wrong thing.
Yeah. Like, it's I don't get it. I don't get why you're allowed to do it. And years ago, I fought that fight that oh gosh darn it, they got to start calling stuff. Guys have given up.
No, don't ask the refs to do the right thing.
I've given up. No, here's why I think the way I do about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, I'll tell you all the story. And I'm being very open with you. When I was a kid, I got wider before I got taller.
Okay.
You know, we all go through puberty differently. That's how mine went. I had the cottage cheese belly. You know that one? And I got picked on. I got picked on at the bus stop. And I was, I would go home and I would talk about how I got picked on at the bus stop. And they said, be the bigger person. Do not retaliate. And so I tried that for a while. And I kept getting picked on at the bus stop. Then they would follow me from the bus stop up the street. And I was still told, do not retaliate. Be the bigger person, because people will see that you're the bigger person. And maybe they'll even defend you. And the kids kept picking on me at the bus stop, and they kept picking on me on the way home. But you know what happened is eventually, because I was the bigger person, they stopped. By the way, the end of that story is a lie. What actually happened is I got taller, I chased them down, and I cornered them in their fucking garage, and they had to fend me off with a broom.
Is that
true?
actually what happened?
Yes, that's what fucking happened.
How old were you when you
do
came
not
back?
wait for help. That's what I learned.
No, I need more details.
Is being the bigger person gets you nowhere.
I need more
You
details.
fuck them up.
I need more details on this fight. When did you?
It wasn't long, Jesse.
So you brought a broom with you?
No.
Okay.
I chased this little motherfucker all the way home into his garage, and he grabbed the first thing he found, which was a broom. And that was the only thing between him and the bear who was going to maul him.
That's good.
Fucking A right, it's good.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of little Steve.
And you know,
Yeah.
and you know what though? You know what
13,
though?
14-year-old Steve going,
You know
I'm
what,
not going
though?
to take it.
Yeah, years later, I felt a lot of guilt about it.
Why?
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm almost 34. It feels as good today as it did the day I did it. That was over 20 years ago, and I'm genuinely fucking proud of it. I'm genuinely fucking proud of it. So anyway, that's why I view the Leafs as I do.
What does your therapist think of that story?
I haven't told him yet, but thanks for the reminder.
I think there's a lesson we learned there, which is if you keep taking it, people will keep doing it.
Yeah.
And what I was always told, and I come from a very nonviolent family. If you met my dad, you'd be like, does he have a pocket protector or what's the deal? Like he's just not that kind of a guy. But I was always told, listen, if it has to happen, if it has to go that way, make sure you hit him first. and that's sort of always how I viewed hockey. Is it's like if they're gonna physically intimidate you over the long haul, make sure you get one in first. I was never the biggest guy, and I could tell you on the teams that I played on, and I'm just I was a bum. I was a terrible hockey player, but on the teams that I played on that hit first, usually you win. And I wonder with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you've talked about this, Steve, a few times about in front of their net. Like I agree with Sheldon Keefe about, what are you going to do? You're going to stop Tom Wilson from being Tom Wilson? No, you're not going to stop Tom Wilson from being Tom Wilson.
I didn't want to see the Tom Wilson versus Alex Kerfoot fight.
No, 100%. But when it's in front of the Leafs net, and this is something you've mentioned before, then I want to see some bodies moved.
Yes.
And that's where it comes back to the trade deadline.
Go 2, 3, 4 on 1. Every other team does it.
Yeah, they do. They just mob, eh?
Every other
it's
team
crazy.
does it. Beat them up until someone pulls you off them.
That's what's
Right.
That's the strategy. That's the move. Because that's allowed. It's fucking allowed in this sport. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you're not literally complying to the rules, you're not trying. I can tell you that much. You're allowed. Do it.
This is why
Hit 'em.
This is why I would call the Islanders about Zdeno.
Maybe you're right. I should. Here, let me make a quick call.
I would call the Islanders about Zdeno.
He's not that good.
He's really not that good, but it'd make me feel better.
But he's a big person.
I'd play Zdeno Chara on left wing. Bro,
So what you do, Spezza, Simmons, Chara?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Pierre, but you get it, right? You go, yep.
I worry about the bodies in front of the Leafs net because when that Detroit game, like 4 of those goals were either floaters from the point and there's nothing in between, or tip-ins from somebody who got to park out in front of Campbell or Mrazek.
Here,
you know?
Here, you're Pierre Engvall. You're about the same height. You're Pierre Engvall. I'm Sheldon Keefe. You come to me very upset.
I'm upset.
You're upset that Zdeno Chara took your roster spot. Okay, tell me.
Keefe, I'm upset. Chara's in my spot.
Oh, you want your spot back?
Yeah.
Okay, fight him for it.
No, I'm not going to do that. He's big.
It's his spot. I'd do it. I'd do it. His spot.
I'm telling you, man.
Fight him for it.
Chara to the Leafs,
Okay,
baby.
Chara's not playing wing.
Okay, even
Fight him
if
for it.
yo, straight up.
All
Even
right,
if, just have some fun with me for a moment, okay? Let's pretend we're in Kyle Dubas' shitty office at the practice rink, okay?
Oh,
and that,
God.
And the
Look how boring this is.
Yeah.
It's exactly as I want it.
The most interesting thing is what Kyle's wearing, and they had the fact that his glasses match. They always match. But they've got that magnet board with the player names on it, right? How fucking sick would it be the first day you got to slap Chara up there?
Yeah.
Where are we gonna put him? Who fucking cares?
Left wing.
No, I honestly
Don't act like the Leafs are above it. They traded for Kyle Clifford and actively pay him $1 million. Chara on the wing is not weird. I saw it.
Just Steve's a spitty talker.
I'm in a mood.
I'm just thinking. I honestly think, like, remember how the Blackhawks won the cup in 2015 with Timo Timonen playing like 3 minutes a night?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that the Leafs
The
top
Leafs
four
cannot do that.
they can't do that. But if Chara got into 1 or 2 games, like if you had a bad loss and you got physically outplayed, and then Zdeno Chara's dressing up.
Mm-hmm. You wait until there's 5 minutes and 1 second left in the game, because if it's after the 5-minute mark, you get in trouble. And you confetti gloves and beat someone until someone stops you.
I mean, I feel like just the size and stature and respect that Zdeno does, and he's also such an a-hole to play against. It stops momentum in its tracks. And I know I'm overestimating Zdeno Chara's impacts because I know he's not that good anymore. But to be honest with you, in the playoffs, come on, tell me, would you rather have or not have Zdeno Chara as an option?
I'd rather have him, because the rules change because you're allowed to assault people in the playoffs.
Thank you.
It's simply how it works.
Thank you.
But like, Brad Marchand is going to get suspended for what he did to Tristan Jarry in the playoffs. Come on, fucking get a lobotomy. It's just not going to happen. But no, I'm like, seriously. But the Leafs, I'm trying to keep my eyes on the prize here, because John Tavares showed tremendous toughness in the way that he responded to that by not just setting up the game-winning goal, but like that was the Leafs' best shift of the game.
Yes, it was.
It was dominant. They pantsed the friggin' Washington Capitals. It was embarrassing on that play, and like Alex Ovechkin, like a plastic bag in the wind on that play, like horrendous. But I feel good about that play, because I feel good about the outcome. It used to drive me up a wall when Babcock would be like, our toughness is our power play, and then the power play would get out there and be actively shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs power play has been really good this season, but it
The best. Number 1 in the league.
the best, but it was bad in this game.
Remember when I said last year, like we were talking about that, there was no excuse for the Leafs power play not to be the best in the league? I'm so glad they're fulfilling that potential now. I'm so glad.
Me too, but it's a strength of theirs that's going to disappear in the playoffs.
But their penalty killing strong.
The penalty killing,
And their 5-on-5 play strong.
and the need for that is going to disappear in the playoffs.
The 5-on-5 play is strong. The team is strong. The force is strong.
Good team.
It is a good team.
And they're
Great team.
hunting down Florida. Like, nobody's talking about
unreal.
this, but they might catch Florida.
Like, I do have my eyes on the process prize here, but the fact that they're finding ways to win games, ugly as they are, and they're keeping up with these monsters, man, it's impressive. I got to tell you, it's March now. It's March now. I really thought they were going to find a way to drop out of this race. Their goaltending's been atrocious,
And they're still there.
and they're still
You
there.
know, 14 non-overtime losses this year. That's it. And let me throw this at you. Florida has played 53 games. The Leafs have played 53 games. The Leafs are a point behind them. Tampa's played 52. They got 76 points. The Leafs have 74. It's conceivable, even though everybody laughed. Why can't the Leafs win the division?
Yeah.
You have 30 games left.
All of that's still in play.
It's still perfectly within reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who's saying the Leafs can't win the division is out to lunch. Like, that's not true.
Right.
Win the President's Trophy.
They
Tonight, the Panthers play the Ottawa Senators in Florida. The Leafs play Buffalo,
Yeah.
the Sabres.
That one.
If the Leafs win and Florida loses, the Leafs are in second place in the division and a couple points back at Tampa. Like,
Now-
it's all right there for the taking.
If they pass Tampa in the next week or so, and things remain the same, their first round opponent would be Boston.
Boston's so close, dude.
They are
what
very
a ridiculous division.
They are close.
Also, I said they'd be a couple points back at Tampa. They'd be tied with Tampa. It's
Tied with
74 to 76. So
Yeah.
it's 2 points. Like, it's there.
I also want to throw this out there. Who saw the Caps being a second wildcard team?
Dude, they don't have goaltending right now.
Yeah.
That's wild. But here's the thing: the next closest team is Columbus with 57 points. They are like they're 8 behind. So it's not.
We kind of have a top 8.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
sort of
East.
it's set, right?
Yeah.
Ilya Samsonov has been in trade talks recently, and do the Capitals not believe in him? I knew they didn't believe in him when they paid a second-round pick to get Vitek Vanacek back from the Seattle Kraken. They don't believe in this kid,
But not a first and a third.
But not a first and a third.
And let me tell you, Ron Francis, he was onto something. He got 0 first and thirds.
Yeah,
but he did get his second though.
So we were talking about that before the show.
Yeah.
And
I'm so upset about
the
that.
way we were talking about it, because we hated losing Jared McCann. This watch Jared McCann be their best player. And now it's like,
Jared McCann's their best player. Yeah. Well, and I also want to say, people gave me shit. Ron Francis did not do a good job, guys.
No.
I told you he didn't do a good job.
Did he not do a good job, or did Vegas set the bar too high?
No.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Come on.
Both.
Come
Because
on.
You're both correct.
The expectation that an expansion franchise should be good is a unreasonable expectation.
With the rules that they had, Ron Francis asked too much of teams for spots. If he had asked for a bunch of second-round picks, if he had asked for just second-rounders, what he got for Vanacek, he'd have all the second-round picks in the NHL right now.
No, but those belong to...
But what did he get? What
Arizona.
did he get? And he's going to sell at the deadline. Great.
He traded Tyler Pitlick.
Oh, man.
But they're also an expansion franchise, and the GMs got better from Vegas to Seattle.
So
they got better at their job.
I don't think they did.
Yes, but no.
No, they didn't. Guys,
They didn't get
come
Max
on.
Domi. They didn't get Tarasenko. They got Adam Larson when they did not need to.
And then signed him to a long-term deal, and now he's on the trade block.
That's
Kind
still
of.
weird.
They signed Jamie Alexiak to a 5-year contract.
They drafted a bunch of guys they didn't need to. Listen, I get Nikita Zadorov's contract kind of sucks. Look at the Flames.
Yeah.
Look at the Flames
Yeah.
and look what he does for them.
I just, listen, it's going to become more and more clear. I'm not saying they needed to even be a playoff team, but I can tell you for sure that this team is way worse than it should have been.
Yeah.
The Seattle Kraken should not be here. And here we are because Ron Francis wanted the first and the third. Had he not done that, think of what you could do with a pilot. Like if you have 10 second-round picks, if you have 5, you think 5's crazy? Montreal had 4 the other year.
I just realized where this conversation came from, and it came from the Capitals don't have a goalie.
Mhm.
And I think the most underratedly funny thing in the NHL this season that I don't think we've talked about on the show is supposedly the Capitals have asked for Marc-Andre Fleury many times this season,
Oh.
and Fleury has said no every time.
Yeah.
LMAO.
Actually?
That's so effing funny.
Whoa.
It's really, really funny. It's like, you know what? I do think it gets into your blood a bit. Remember, do you remember Matt Sundin's reaction when he was in trade rumors to Montreal?
No, I don't actually.
I do. And a reporter goes, yeah, did you hear the rumor or whatever? And Sundin goes, no, what? That you're heading to Montreal. And Sundin accidentally goes, oh, fuck. Into the microphone. You can find it. And all the reporters sort of went, ooh, because I think it might have been live on TV. But yeah, like it gets into your blood. Sundin didn't want to go to the fucking Habs because he's Matt Sundin, and Marc-Andre Fleury doesn't want to go to the fucking Caps. I'm Marc-Andre Fleury. I get it.
And Josh Georges didn't want to be a Toronto Maple Leaf, so he chose the Sabres.
Thank you, by the way.
I'm so glad he did.
Continuously, thank you.
Thank you, Josh Georges. Yeah. So, long story short, with the Leafs, I think it's pretty clear. You need a defenseman. You want another power forward. Is that fair?
Get Chara. Be both.
I'm indifferent on the forward group. We have so many forwards.
Yeah.
We're very good.
I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you want. Can't you want?
Oh,
I don't even want.
Like I have a nice pickup truck. I want a Ferrari.
Right, but you don't need one.
I don't need one. But man, a Ferrari.
If you got one, it'd be great.
I'd be happy. I'd drive.
But if you don't get one,
it's okay.
fine.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
And I'm saying
All right.
don't put your energy towards that Ferrari. Maybe put your energy towards, I don't know.
The heat bill.
Yeah.
You know, you got to pay the heat.
You got to pay your hydro.
I'm still working towards that Ferrari, boys. Okay.
If the Ferrari happens, like, ooh, you lucked out. But like,
just
don't
saying.
put your energy towards that. And
Yeah.
I think,
But like
the Leafs
winter
get-
is coming.
Yeah.
and
We're going.
Mrazek starts tonight,
Mhm.
which is very interesting.
Oh,
Because-
yeah, double game.
First time in his tenure as a Toronto Maple Leaf and this season that he's going to start back-to-back games.
I think, again, the more time that passes, I don't think we're giving we're putting enough weight on the fact that all the Leafs were sick in the Detroit game,
Mhm.
and Campbell, as bad as he's been, allowed 4 goals in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that he was on the verge of shitting himself. Let's call it what it was. Like I'm pretty sure he was on the verge of shitting himself.
Okay.
Like, and now he's not playing back to back. He could have 0 illness, and that would make sense because, I mean, sorry, Buffalo should be getting the backup treatment.
Mhm.
Win or lose, they should be getting the backup treatment. But also, I don't know. I think he's recovering, and that's probably why Kasha wasn't in the lineup against the Caps.
Excuse me. Keefe even said in the pre-games today, I'm reading Mikey Stevens' tweet, he's like, it's no secret that Jack struggled and we need to get Peter into more games.
Yeah.
And remember, we were saying that a month and a half ago? It was like, you have another goalie, play him. It's okay. Play
Yeah.
him.
Well, and like now you do. And like also Mrazek not looking very good does not shock me. Like think about William Nylander's season when he held out. That's essentially what happened to Mrazek by accident. And Willie was healthy the whole time.
And has he been that bad? I think he's been that bad.
He is not good for my heart.
I loved the way you summed him up. It's like he makes spectacular saves that are of his own making.
Yeah, he loves cleaning up problems that he made.
I love that. It's true.
He has no idea where his posts are.
No, I like when a
No
puck,
He
idea.
needs to be one of those goalies that hits the posts before.
yeah, a
Yeah.
puck goes across the crease and all of a sudden he's in the corner of the ice.
He has
It's like, what are you
no
doing at the
idea.
boards,
It's-
Mrazek?
He is like, I'm not a goalie coach,
Yeah.
but he has no idea where his
Yeah.
posts are.
It's ridiculous.
Do you guys know you know when you play NHL 22 online
Yes.
and somebody's playing goalie for the first time and they like
Oh,
That's
me.
and they
Yeah.
push off one pad and they just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, to the other
eye.
That's how Mrazek
Yeah.
is watching him. But wherever he's been like this, and he's always produced. I don't know. I don't mind Peter Mrazek. I think
Kind of. He's never won anything.
man,
Like, I don't-
it's
what's our definition of producing?
Listen, I remember a time not too long ago when I thought, wow, maybe they have some found value in Michael Hutchinson because I was at the game where he started for the first time and shut the Canucks out 6-0. We all know where that went. I was there with my stepdad, Jim. So,
That's great.
Dr. Jimmy. So I just remember that.
He's a doctor.
And so compared to that,
Yeah.
I'm okay
Compared
with
to
this.
Hutchison, yeah. it's
Yeah.
okay.
It was like, okay, so I
Adam,
tweeted
That made exactly 0 people feel better. You just compared him to Michael
well,
Hutchinson.
so it should make you feel better because the team still should have made it past the first round that year and would have. The
Michael Hutchinson won 2 of 3 for Colorado. I'll never let people forget that.
I know it's true. I tweeted the other night about Michael Kempney, and that's like one of those Michael Kempney's deal with the Capitals. It was like a throw-in. Like I think they threw I think it was a 5th round pick. It was like nothing.
It was inexpensive, yeah.
And he came in and was really solid for them all the way through the playoffs and through the next season. And Caps fans got on me a little bit. Even Russian Machine was like, you know that his like leg blew up. right? He's just come back from injury. He missed all last season.
Oh,
And I'm like, listen. You guys just don't get it, okay? You guys just don't get it. And I'm not just talking about Russian Machine, who we love, by the way. Shout out Ian and the whole crew there.
noted pieces of garbage.
Garbage people.
No, I love them. Love them very much.
The thing is that you have to understand Michael Kempny is a really good third pair defenseman that they got for almost nothing. The third pair defenseman that we got for nothing, or for a lot actually, was Roman Polak. And we also have the team, and I mentioned this on Twitter, we were the team that had Ron Hainsey playing with Morgan Riley for 2 years.
The Leafs
stapled to Morgan Riley.
I think the point you were trying to make is the Leafs don't have an extensive track record of acquiring defensemen via trade who stay.
Yes. And it's not because they do a great job of it on forward. Like look at the value adds they've had.
Did you know the Leafs pick was involved in that Kempny deal?
Was it?
Mother.
Which team did we help this time?
So Washington traded the their own third round pick or the Leafs third round pick of 2018 to Chicago for Michael Kempny. And it turned out that Chicago received the 2018 third round pick from the Leafs.
I have to know how they got that.
How they got the third round pick from the Leafs?
I'm trying to think of how they would have,
Mm-hmm.
what trade that would have been involved in. 2018?
That's so funny that you bring that up and it involves the Leafs.
It must have been a pick for pick deal. Like from the draft.
Because I can't click the pick to find out the pick's trade history.
Here, I'll be able to find it in 5 seconds. Don't worry about me. Here, you guys go. I'll find
Hey,
it.
you guys. So what did the
Trade tree powers activate.
What was the trade, Jesse? Can we get to?
It was I said it. It was a third round pick
third round pick
to Chicago for
Chicago.
Michael Kempny, and the third round pick they traded had conditions because Washington owned their own third round pick and the Leafs third round pick.
Boys, I'm
So they
on it.
said Chicago gets the higher of that pick, and the higher pick turned out to be the Leafs pick.
I'm on it, boys. You guys talk. I'll have this in a minute, baby.
You still haven't found it.
I'm about to.
I found it here.
No.
You were looking.
Did Jesse beat you?
Toronto Maple Leafs trade 25th overall pick. Oh no, that was
you shit.
That's not it. That's not it.
I found it.
Okay, go.
But oh my.
Hey, I got
Lord,
it
there's
here
so
too.
much.
I got it here too. It's a lot.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. Wow.
To the Blues, right? Do you have that one? Here, go. Just read it off Wikipedia.
Okay, this is from Wikipedia. The Toronto Maple Leafs third round pick went to the San Jose Sharks as a result of a trade on June 23rd, 2018 that sent a fourth and fifth round pick in both 2018 to Arizona in exchange for this pick. Arizona previously acquired this pick as the result of a trade on June 23rd, 2018, same day, that sent Calgary's third round pick in 2018, 74th overall, to Chicago in exchange for Columbus's fifth round pick in 2018 and this pick. Chicago previously acquired this pick as the result of a trade on February 19th, 2018 that sent Michael Kempny to Washington in exchange for this pick being conditional at the time of the trade. The condition, Chicago will receive the higher of Toronto or Washington's third round pick in 2018, was converted on April 25th, 2018 when Toronto was eliminated from the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs, ensuring Toronto would select higher than Washington. Washington previously acquired this pick as the result of a trade on July 2nd, 2017 that sent Marcus Johansson to New Jersey in exchange for Florida's second round pick in 2018 and this pick. New Jersey previously acquired this pick as compensation for Toronto hiring Lou Lamoriello as their general manager on July 23rd, 2015.
This pick that we randomly are talking about because you wanted to about Michael Kempny is as a result of the Leafs hiring Lou Lamoriello.
By the way,
for anyone, what are the odds?
For anyone who's ever watched a trade tree video and gone, I could do that stupid shit. That's one pick. One. You know how long the Lindros tree took? Forever. Yeah, so
that's wild.
The Capitals have Michael Kempny because the Leafs got Lou Lamoriello from the Devils.
That's fucked up.
That's insane. Wow. Thank you for accidentally bringing that to the show. Did you have any idea? I also didn't know I could read that fast.
That's crazy.
That was well done.
That's crazy.
Wow. Holy
That's
shit.
wild. I'm like, I don't know what to say now.
Anybody who's watching the video, I put up the Wikipedia entry, and it's like 7 lines long about this one pick. Like, it's insane.
Wow. Wow, that's wild. I love that. I love
needs a
that
video.
so much.
Well,
It's-
I guess-
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy cow. That's a lot. I bet you were listening like, where's this going, Steve? Oh, man. Oh,
There's the closer.
That was what a good ending. That was great. I definitely thought Wikipedia was going to M. Night Shyamalan this, but no, that is a great ending. Good stuff.
I think we peaked. End the show.
Yeah, you want to end the show? Is that it?
No, that's it. We're not doing better than that.
Okay, all right.
All right, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching.
Should we do the press conference at least?
Yeah.
All right, come on.
If you like socks, you should try these ones, Stance socks. We're fans. How can you not love them? They're versatile, they're colorful, they make great gifts too. But did you not hear that Stance is now expanding outside of just the socks game? Now they have full active apparel lines. Their new products include sweatpants, joggers, hoodies, and more. And the best part about it is all of the clothing has stayed true to Stance's unique qualities. So if you've enjoyed the comfort and creativity of Stance in the past, you're not going to believe what Stance has in store for you now. It's not just socks anymore. It's comfort. It's lovely creativity. It's stitched different. Embrace a life of superior comfort and creative expression with everyday apparel that truly is, as I said, stitched different. Check out Stance's super soft line of sweatpants and joggers, shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Now available in a full range of fits, prints, fabrics, and fun. So check this out. Stance's philosophy is you should never have to sacrifice your own individual style for the sake of comfort, and you don't have to now. Whether you're relaxing around the house, working out at the gym, or running all over the town, Stance now delivers its signature softness and creativity in a full line of active apparel from head to toe. Stance has got you covered. Head on over to stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Just use the code TSS at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. Stitch different. This month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of the most important relationship in your life. The one you have with yourself. Whether it's hitting the gym or making time for a haircut or even trying therapy, you are your own greatest asset. So invest the time and effort into yourself like you do for other people. Here's the thing. I've been going to therapy for years. It's been tremendously helpful. And BetterHelp Online Therapy offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't actually have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. And the best part about it is it's a lot more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Steve Dangle Podcast listeners, that's you, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/SDP. That's BETTERHELP.com/SDP.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
What?
It's just
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild. Oh, wow.
News and notes since we last had a show. Kyle Davidson named GM of the Chicago Blackhawks.
That's right.
They interviewed a whole bunch of people, and they had a huge, big interview process.
From the desk of Danny Wirtz.
that they
Fart.
they tweeted out on every single person they were interviewing, which was a new thing.
The dunking on Chiarelli was
Yeah, when they announced they're interviewing Chiarelli.
pretty aggressive.
Yeah. And then in the end, they decided to go with the guy who's there. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do it. What was interesting about him is that he said they are in a full-blown rebuild. And he said, Kane and Taze are extremely important pieces to the organization. They're definitely going to be brought into the loop on what happens. There won't be any surprises on their end on what we plan on doing. But here's the thing. They're a year away from unrestricted free agency. Taze has been half a point a game player this year. Kane is still Kane. To be honest with you, if I'm Kyle Davidson, that's not the precedent I set. And maybe that's what he believes, and maybe that's what the organization above him wants. Sometimes when you work in a big organization, you have to agree to do things that you wouldn't normally do because that's what the uppers want, in this case, the owners. But I have to tell you, the Brandon Saad, Artemi Panarin deal happened because Taze and Kane wanted it to happen. I would not be, like, you're the general manager. Don't ask them. Tell them. Maybe they don't want to be surprised by a trade, so you call them beforehand before it gets announced. But that's it. I'm those guys are there to play hockey. They're not there to reassemble the Chicago Blackhawks. And to be honest with you, I think it makes sense, at least in Jonathan Toews' case, to let him go at the end of this contract.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, yeah. I think...
and maybe they're valuable and important pieces because they're going to get traded.
I gotta think Patrick Kane was brought up during the interview process for all candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And like what I would ask is, do you want to be known as the general manager who traded Patrick Kane? That's what Kyle Davidson signed up for.
Yeah, but I think Patrick Kane is going to stick around. He's still well over a point a game.
Yeah, but you can't, if it comes to it, you can't lose him for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Well, maybe they've had those conversations already informally, saying, listen, do you want to stay?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it could come to that, and on deck is Kyle Davidson. He might be the guy to do it. Who else is it going to be? There's only one GM. It's him.
Yeah. All right.
If it happens, it's going to be him.
Jesse, what's the question?
First question, we're going to go to my DMs because a person named Mark DM'd me something very interesting. I think it'd be a fun little rule change to the way the National Hockey League does deals. It'll increase trades, I think. So Mark suggested, why don't teams do rental trades with players on longer contracts? So you trade, in this example, they're using Mrazek. So you trade Mrazek a first and a second for Thatcher Demko.
Which, by the way, is not a trade that either side, or not a trade that Vancouver would do.
Right, just hypothetical. So yes, it is in this scenario.
Yes.
So this is the rental thing. Let me get through it. So you trade Mrazek first and a second for Thatcher Demko. But in the deal, he returns to Vancouver in the offseason. So after the playoffs are done, the team gets their player back. What do you guys think of this hypothetical where you could put in trade scenarios where the team gets their player back?
I mean, I listen, it would require creativity.
I think there's rules in the CBA against that. Like, I don't think you're allowed to just be like, here you go.
Yeah, no, but they're saying change the CBA so that if you're on let's say you have a 7-year contract, in the middle of your 7-year contract, you can be loaned to another team for a playoff run after the trade deadline, and then you go back to the other team for the start of the next regular season. What do you guys think of this amendment to the CBA?
Think of how juiced teams could be.
But it has to still fit under the salary cap.
Yeah, but you could finagle that in a way.
Yeah.
That, oh my God.
I think it'd be really cool.
It makes the league more interesting, which is why it absolutely won't happen. But think of the drama around. So the Leafs do it, right? They make this trade, and Vancouver goes, great. We got some assets, and but we're gonna have to give, a little bit of those assets back, to the Leafs when we get him back as part of this deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Demko does is really good, like really good, like really, really good. Whatever success looks like. And the Canucks go, we would like one Thatcher Demko back, please. And the Leafs go, no.
No, it's written down that they have to.
I mean,
it's written.
It'd
be
be
cool.
cool.
Have to do it.
Yeah. It's not. This isn't like, oh, hypothetical. What happens now? No, this is in the rules that on the day free agency happens, you give back the player.
It's a loan.
Yeah. What if they had loans? What if
They already kind of have this.
Pittsburgh fails like this season. They have a terrible season.
Which I hope they do. Screw Pittsburgh. Am I right?
They're gonna finish like 28th or something. They trade Crosby to the Flames for
No, make it more painful. The Flyers.
They trade Crosby to the Flyers
Yeah.
from the trade deadline to free agency
For Claude Giroux.
for a couple first round picks, and they get Crosby as a rental for those months. I think a rental deals would be cool.
I think it'd be cool too.
If you could loan,
I'm with you.
Loan players.
But again, it requires general managers to take a risk, which they hate, and to be creative, which they hate even more. Because you could do this.
You should be able to loan guys.
Well, you should be able to loan for compensation.
Yeah, for a pick or something.
Compensatory loan is
Right.
what we'll call it. A compensatory loan. And you know what would be great about that too? It would solve a lot of some of the hard cap issues that you deal with. Not all of them. but it could like imagine you have a bum contract and Crosby's making 8.7. And so you give your bum contract and then you take your bum contract back after the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's something there.
I think
there's something in loaning
But
guys.
that was tweeted to me as well. And I said that would require creativity. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see creativity here. Come on. This is not a creative league.
There's something there.
There is.
There's something there.
It's fun to think about.
Anyways, next question. This one comes from our Discord server, discord.gg/sdpn. That'll send you right to we got a vanity link now. We've had it for a while. I just never use it, but that's our vanity link. Luke says, with where baseball is at, who's a worse commissioner? Manfred or Bettman?
Yes.
Manfred. Yes is the answer.
Yeah. Well, Manfred, I mean, Gary Bettman has had since 1993 to fuck this up. Rob Manfred just got here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he just got here.
Yeah.
For God's sake. It's
I'm sort of shocked about, like, you know, he got up to the podium yesterday and laughed. And like,
I was gonna say, Gary Bettman at least pretends to like hockey,
except for Canadian fans. He doesn't like Canadian fans.
No. But like, you know, hockey exists outside of Canada. He likes hockey. He just hates when there's a Canadian flag on it.
Yeah, for sure.
But when it comes to baseball, like Rob Manfred seems to have a genuine contempt for baseball and its fans.
Yeah,
and I think that's a horrible thing for the commissioner to be.
He doesn't like. It seems like he doesn't like baseball.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
For baseball fans, your suffering in all this is not even a bargaining chip because he doesn't like you.
And like the best thing for MLB is that probably a lot of people won't notice that it's going on because the last couple of years, all they've been doing is killing the sport. So
yeah,
the sport's dying and they're just going to keep killing it by not playing the games.
And the sad part is that like the Twins and the Orioles and these shithole franchises that are literally saving money. No, and I don't mean the fans and I don't mean the crest, but the franchise
or the
behind
city.
No, of course not the city.
Sorry, well when you say shithole,
I said shithole franchise.
You started that sentence very aggressive.
Well, they are. You know, who's going to show up? Who's showing up at Camden Yard in April? To go to a game other than the most hardcore Orioles fan to watch a team that's going to lose 120 games.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
And the owner's like, this is great. Because now I don't have to employ people to staff the arena. I don't have to turn on the lights. There are a lot of teams in baseball right now who are thrilled that these games are being canceled. Just the ownership groups and the managed behind them. And speaking of which, I'm not talking about the fans, obviously. I'm not talking about the players, obviously. I'm talking about how these organizations are run. They're thrilled that they don't have to host a game. They're thrilled.
I saw one because the first two series are canceled for the Jays.
Yeah.
And it was Zoobs on Twitter. He's
I love
like,
Zoobs.
Because one of the first series is the Rays. And he's just like, well...
The Rays are probably happy about that.
I'm anti-losing baseball games, but I don't know, pro-less Rays. I'm trying to think that's good.
Yeah. And this is the point. Like
I butchered it. I'm sorry, Zoobs.
Baseball is trying to, or at least the baseball ownership is trying to claim that, you know,
they're asking for too much money.
As for too much money.
They're trying to make too much money.
It's been financially really hard for us.
We've lost money in the pandemic.
Everybody's lost money in the pandemic.
We only made $3 billion instead of our $10 billion.
Dude, we all lost money. We all lost money. Guess what? When a pandemic hits, people lose money, except for Jeff Bezos, who took all the money.
Imagine defending the billionaire.
Well, I mean, Rob Manfred's paid a lot of money to do it. The baseball thing, here's what blows my mind. You should read Ken Rosenthal's latest column in The Athletic. It's insane. And I'll see if I can find it for you. But in the meantime, because I just want you to read I want to read you the first Rosenthal. I want to read you the first sentence because it's crazy. Here it is. Rosenthal, MLB owners had every advantage and it still wasn't enough for them. Here's the first line. How dare they? And then he goes on to say, that's all I keep thinking. How dare Commissioner Rob Manfred and the baseball owners treat their players and their fans like this? Don't they recognize the impact of canceling games, the damage it will do to the sport, the idea that baseball is simply an industry bigger than anyone, the idea that baseball is more than simply an industry bigger than anyone lucky enough to be a part of it? Oh, Manfred and the owners will have to object to that very premise, but tell you all about their love for the game and how the other side is to blame. But he said it for himself Tuesday. If it was solely within my ability for the clubs to get an agreement, we'd have an agreement. You know, if it wasn't for those damn players and fans, right? And this is the thing. Like, I don't know. In the 1994 lockout, the owners did a really good job of basically, you know, they canceled the season halfway through. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And they did a really good job of the PR thing. Oh, these players, bunch of millionaires. Can you believe these guys? And the fans bought it. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing was, oh, this is millionaires fighting with billionaires. I hate it. MLB owners act like baseball players just woke up and were good at baseball. And that viewpoint has gone away largely because what the owners don't realize is a lot of us suffered through the pandemic. A lot of us want to be recognized for our talents and paid properly for our talents and can't find a place to be properly paid for our talents. And I'm looking at this situation and I'm going, there are baseball owners who are intentionally tanking. The Texas Rangers, the Baltimore Orioles, and there's a couple other teams have cut their payrolls by over $60 million over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. From like $100 million to like $40 million. It's a joke.
There's been a lot of very large corporations who for a very long time have been able to go and do whatever they want. And I am very extraordinarily here for the collective fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. Rob Manfred and the owners can do this, but I think Ken Reed said it this morning on the highlights. He said it took me 10 years after the strike in 94 as an Expos fan to go back to baseball and actually watch a game.
Wow.
10 years. Now, Ken was salty about it, and I get that. I love baseball. Baseball's in huge trouble.
Yep.
I know.
They have a demographic problem. Yep. They have a pace problem. They're like hockey. It's too traditional. It's too boring. You know, you can say what you want about Bryce Harper. I fucking love that Bryce Harper is at least willing to mix it up. I don't agree with everything the guy does, but at least he's got a personality. I love what the Jays were last year.
Could this be happening at a worse time for the Blue Jays?
Yeah. And they're fun. They're young and they're fun and they have a personality. Mm-hmm.
All of the things that baseball isn't are what the Blue Jays are. And it's like, who's not excited to go to a Jays game this year? I want to see fucking Vlad turn the ball into vapor.
Dingers.
And the rest of them. And now we can't.
All right.
Fucking thanks a lot.
And with baseball, all of their biggest
Canada
stars
gets fucked again.
Are on the worst teams. You know, they'll have like
Fernando
Shohei
Tatis
Ohtani he's the second coming of Babe Ruth, and his team will go 81-81.
Oh, dude.
Like Mike Trout for a decade has been the greatest baseball player ever. And his team can't make the playoffs.
Bro,
And they play on the same team, by the way.
Yeah,
Ohtani and Trout.
I keep reading about how Mike Trout might be the best baseball player of all time, and I'm like, cool, I'll have to take your word for it. He plays for the LA Angels.
I'm never going to see him play. I'm not going to watch a playoff game. And I'm not going to watch a regular season Angels game. I'm going to see him in playoffs.
I watch dozens of baseball games a year. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a Mike Trout one.
No.
I don't think so.
You? Why would you turn on the Angels? They fucking suck.
Like,
They always suck.
I don't know if I'd turn on the Angels if they were playing my team. Like, I don't care.
But they have the best player and the most marketable star ever, Shohei Ohtani, and can't do anything about it.
Gone.
Anyway, baseball's in trouble. Baseball's in huge trouble, and they're hurting themselves by locking out the players. It's awful.
And it's just, you know, the only, like, the people who lose, obviously the players are going to lose, because here's the thing. You got a really limited time to play professional baseball and make money. Right? So every game that they lose, they don't get back. Here's the thing, though. If you're the owner, every game that you lose, well, you still got the team. The equity still goes up.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of these owners, like, they've been around for so long that their $100 or $500 million investment is now worth $1 billion. They don't care. This is their toy thing on the side.
Yeah, the value of their team is going to go up during the lockout.
They already made $500 million on this. What do I give a shit?
Yeah. And you want to tell me, it's so hard. We lost a little bit in our payroll. We had to pay the players to play baseball during the pandemic. Can you imagine? And you know what? That's what kills me is that when they bring these arguments up, everybody, what they try to do is they try to fool you. There are businesses that are for-profit businesses that run neutral. If you own a sports franchise, you don't need to run at a profit. In fact, you could run at a loss. And it's great because you're a billionaire. And what do you need when you're a billionaire? Write-offs. You need places to hide that fucking money, so at least it goes to your franchise and not the government. What do you think they all use this for? Other than bragging to their friends that they own a franchise, what do you think they use it for?
Rich guy shit.
Just dumping money into it.
Yeah.
Rich guy shit.
Rich guy shit. It's crazy. It's just
I
mind-boggling.
love baseball
I
because
love
I
baseball.
associate with my family and like as a kid driving around to Sarnia and Sault Ste. Marie and fucking
You were a
Saturdays
great player.
and playing baseball all day. And I love the sport, and it sucks as a fan watching the biggest league in the world destroy it. I hope they find some way to play some games and improve the sport.
I hope somebody picks up the Japanese baseball rights. I'd watch that.
Well, I want everyone to remember this the next time they go kids these days with their esports and everything. When was the last Fortnite lockout? Right?
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is it's not that kids are changing necessarily or kids just want to stay inside. Kids are lazy. No, the people who run sports fuck it up. And for those of you whose kids do want to play sports, it's going to be basketball. It's the only sport gaining any kind of traction.
Oh, yeah.
It's Canada, the States.
Because it's fun as hell.
Anyway, because it's fun as hell, and they don't stop playing all the time. And oh man, I just don't get it. I don't get that the only league that allows fun and never stops playing is having success. It's okay. We know you don't. We know you don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the NFL's got a lot of traction too.
Yeah.
But the problem with the NFL is the injuries.
Yes. Yeah. I read NFL.
Is it?
Some yes, some no.
Interesting.
Hockey's not doing great.
Of course it's not.
Baseball's doing horrendously. Basketball.
Yeah,
of course.
Its stock's only going up because they've hit the next generation. Like they've got the kids.
Yep.
Kids love basketball.
Yep.
No,
because it's
we'll
fun.
see.
It's fun. They embrace fun.
And it's cheap.
Yeah,
It's not $400 to put a kid into pads
Yeah.
for a game.
You know what I don't hear every 5 seconds when I watch basketball highlights? Collective bargaining agreement.
I mean, they've had their fights.
They had a lockout. What was it? 5 years
13?
ago?
Yeah,
2013.
Yeah.
Not
They
too
missed half
long
the
ago.
season.
And how long did it last?
Half a season.
Yeah, it was 48 game season.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, as a hockey fan, I'm like, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
and like in the NBA, there's so many stars for the kids to look up to. Like kids love Steph Curry. Like that's just a thing. Kids love him.
He's such a showman. He's such a great showman. I
Yeah.
love him. He goes viral for warm up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool.
What leaf? What anybody in any other sport goes viral because of what they did in warm up.
Actually, Jesse, when you talked about Vegas, what I loved about the Vegas thing is everybody's there for warm up.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was cool.
used to when my mom took me to games, you bet your ass we were in our seats for warm up. But nobody else was. But I loved going to warm up. It was my favorite. And it would be cool if they put on a little bit of a show. And that's when you got the chance to meet players and they throw pucks and sticks and stuff into the ice. And I loved warm up. And I love that the whole Vegas,
There's
the whole
a whole
arena's there.
pregame festivity outside the arena for
it's so
warm up,
cool.
and then the band leads you into the arena, and then you're in there, and everybody's out there warming up. It's awesome experience.
When I go to a Leaf game, I feel like you ever go to a really loud house party and feel bad for the next door neighbors? That's how I feel going to a Leaf game because it's like literally in the middle of a train station.
Yep.
And there isn't that atmosphere because it's mostly just full of people hurriedly walking because they're trying to get home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to see that fixed. They got to better utilize Maple Leaf Square.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's hilarious.
Like, I don't know why they do it for the playoff games, but why not have that atmosphere every
Why not?
regular season game where you lock off the Longo's Square over there, and you have that for
Longo's Square.
Is that what it
for
is?
the fans? Like, do that.
Longo's 11 Square.
Like,
That's a very niche joke. A lot of you aren't going to get that, but to me, it's very funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, listen, we'll wrap the show.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. And I do want to say this. We've got a very exciting... Every time I say announcement, people roll their eyes. So what can I...
Here. Sorry. I have the perfect word for it.
Please.
Here, Jesse, ISO for a sec.
Oh, okay.
Just here, real quick.
Hold on. Does he have an ISO cam today?
He does.
Yeah, hey. Announcement! Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
Friday. Very excited.
Ooh.
Big thing. History making.
History making.
You might want to set your watch. I don't know why you would set your watch, but you could. Just remind yourself, set a reminder that there's something happening on the podcast on Friday that we're very excited about. We're excited to bring to you.
And that's that.
That's right. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Have a wonderful last couple of days. The Leafs, when are they playing again?
Buffalo tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It's Wednesday night hockey.
Cool. I'm excited for that.
And then they play Saturday.
Are you getting tired yet? There's a lot of games happening now in these things, and you have to do the LFR. And
I got a Saturday coming up.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.